Just like if you want to have a mango tree in your garden, then first you need a seed. Then you have to sow the seed in the ground. But first you have to prepare the soil. Then you plant the seed. Then you make a nice fence around it to protect it, and you have to water it regularly. Not for 1 month, not for 2 months, not for 3 months, for a couple of years before that tree grows into a beautiful mango tree and gives you the fruits. So similarly, for us, for Krishna to appear in our hearts, first we have to prepare our heart. And therefore Balaram, he always appears before Krishna to prepare the field for Krishna to appear. And he comes with his plow. So the plow represents cultivation. Prabhupada says, Krishna is the coward boy and Balaram is the plow boy. So Balaram, he helps to plow our heart. Take all the weeds out. Take all the bad habits out. Because why would Krishna want to appear in an impure environment? Like you'll see those devotees who are doing deity worship. Prabhupada says 2 very important qualities for deity worship. One is punctuality and the other is cleanliness. So therefore you'll see the altar area is very, very clean. Because it's one of the qualities that is very important for worshipping the deity. But it's also very important for our heart. For our heart has to be clean for Krishna to appear. If there's lust, anger, greed, jealousy, envy, illusion, madness, and everything besides Krishna, meditation on Krishna, glorification of Krishna, and Krishna doesn't like that environment. Sometimes people ask, how come Krishna doesn't appear in South Africa, only in Vrindavan? That's because Krishna's devotees are in Vrindavan. If Krishna's devotees, and what type of devotees? The most exalted devotees, from beginning to end, from the morning till the evening, they cannot forget Krishna. It's described when the devotees in Vrindavan, when they dressing themselves, they not looking into the mirror and saying, just see how nice I look, so pretty, so wonderful, so handsome. No, their consciousness is, I'm dressing, I hope Krishna is pleased with my dress. So they dressing to please Krishna. And everything they do, they're cooking for Krishna. They're preparing different festivals for Krishna's pleasure. Jai Shri Shivavanath Ki Jai. So Balaram helps us to plow our heart, prepare our heart. Once Balaram prepares our heart, then Krishna can manifest. Now, when a seed is planted, which is the seed of devotion, because Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, those of you that were here for the Bhagavad Gita sessions that we had over the last 5 days, who can tell us when Arjuna asked Krishna to show the opulences, and then, in fact, not the universal form. After Krishna showed Arjuna the universal form, and Arjuna was completely, overwhelmed. He saw beauty, he saw horror, he saw, He was amazed by this universal form. Then he told Krishna, please, please appear in your two-arm form again. So then Krishna appears in his two-arm form. And then Krishna makes a very, very important point to Arjuna, that Arjuna, you cannot just see this form that I'm showing you now. You can only see this form with, what do you need to see Krishna's two-arm form? A color TV? A nice house? A motor vehicle? What do you need to see Krishna's two-arm form? Great austerity? Penances? Charity? What do you need to see Krishna's two-arm form? Study of the Vedas? Krishna says, Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Only by undivided devotional service can I be understood. As I am standing before you. So only by undivided devotion can one see Krishna. So Krishna appears in this world with his whole spiritual entourage, with all his devotees from the spiritual world. And do you know how often Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, appears in this world? Once every 8,640,000,000 years. Krishna appears. And that once every 8,640,000,000 years happened to be 5,000 years ago. So somehow by good fortune, we all have taken birth in this age just 5,000 years after Krishna actually appeared in this world. That is very, very rare. And for us to now actually see Krishna, realize Krishna face to face, we have to prepare our heart. So when you sow a seed, now you have to water it and make sure there's enough sunshine. So what is the watering process? The watering process is devotional service. And the most important activity of devotional service is to chant God's names. And all the religious traditions emphasize in this age, the holy name of God is the most important activity to practice in spiritual life. Hallowed be thy name. Of all the names, Allah possesses the most beautiful names. Call him by those names. In our scriptures, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Kevalam, Kalo, Nasteva, 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 Gatiranyata. In this age of Kali, hypocrisy and quarrel, there is no alternative other than chanting the names of the Lord, chanting the names of the Lord, chanting the names of the Lord. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada emphasized every day we should try to chant God's names regularly. And by that process, we watering the seed of devotion that we got by the spiritual master after plowing the land by the mercy of Balaram, and slowly this creeper of devotion will start to grow. And the more the creeper of devotion grows, the more our faith will intensify, the more we will glorify Krishna, until one day the fruits of pure devotion will manifest. And then at that time, Krishna, he cannot resist. Krishna cannot resist pure devotion. He's attracted to pure devotion. It's explained that Krishna, he likes butter. But when the gopis would be churning butter, even though they're making the butter, it is their devotion. They wanted Krishna to come to their house to steal the butter. And while making the butter, they were praying, I hope Krishna comes to my house today so I can see him. Because Krishna was so beautiful. It's described that when Krishna appeared, when Mother Yashoda held Krishna, he was as soft as foam. He had a beautiful bluish complexion, like emerald blue. And when Mother Yashoda saw Krishna, she would look at one part of Krishna's body. Like, for example, she would look at his eyes, and all of a sudden, when she looked at his eyes, which looked like lotus flowers, then every part of Krishna's body resembled a certain flower. And Mother Yashoda said, oh, this is a basket of flowers. And then she would immediately think, oh, no, okay, no, this is Krishna. After a while, this is my beautiful son. Then she would look at Krishna's lips, which are reddish like the bimba fruit. So then when she looks at Krishna's lips like a bimba fruit, then all of Krishna's limbs become different fruits that Mother Yashoda sees. And she thinks, oh, just see, this is a basket of fruits. So like this, Krishna's beauty is mesmerizing. So all the gopis wanted to see Krishna. They wanted Krishna to come. So Krishna naturally, he was attracted by the gopis. So he would really go to fulfill the desire. And in this way, go to the house and steal butter. But actually, he was satisfying their wish. So like that, it is wonderful that we are celebrating Krishna Janmashtami. So I mentioned some are celebrating it today and others are celebrating it tomorrow. If you see, sometimes people they ask, why is this the case? So it's very simple. We do not calculate the appearance days of the Lord and great personalities like Srila Prabhupada using solar calendar. We use the lunar calendar. The Vedic system is based on lunar calendar. So according to the lunar calendar, the celebration of Krishna Janmashtami starts, around, I don't know the exact timing, but let's say, for example, at 10:30 tonight. So because it starts 10:30 tonight, that means tonight, this evening, is actually Krishna Janmashtami, the beginning of Janmashtami. So therefore, many people, especially in India, different parts, they observe Janmashtami today because it starts today. According to how Srila Prabhupada wanted us to calculate the calendar, even though Janmashtami starts tonight, but from 10 till let's say 12 is only 2 hours, which means then it falls into the next day. So then you got 20 hours for tomorrow, which Janmashtami continues. So generally, we take where the most amount of hours fall, and then we celebrate on that day. So therefore, we're also celebrating really Janmashtami, in terms of the Hare Krishna movement officially tomorrow. But as Prabhupada writes, for us, even if there is no festival, we can introduce a festival of chanting and dancing, because that is what spiritual life is all about. So we're going to chant Jai Radha Madhava, and then we will continue with our Bhagavad Gita session. So those of you that know this beautiful song, glorifying the residents of Vrindavan, Mother Yashoda, the gopis, you please join in. Krishna becomes very happy. Krishna becomes attracted when there is glorification. In the material world, we all love to hear our names. When people call our names, we get attracted. Famous people when their fans call their names, they get happy. Why is that so? Because Krishna becomes happy when we call his names, when we glorify his names, when we glorify his associates. Krishna becomes very happy, and in this way we attract Krishna's mercy. So let us wholeheartedly chant and glorify Krishna's wonderful pastimes in Vrindavan. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Jaya Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Teva Vanachavi Yamuna Yamuna Teva Vanachavi Yamuna Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Teva Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Deva Vanachaviyam. Yamuna Deva Vanachaviyam. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Jaya Vrindavan Dham, Vrindavan Dham, Vrindavan Dham, Jaya Vrindavan Dham. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Jaya Radhe Shyam. Jaya Radha, Radha Nata Radha, Radha Nata Radhe. Jaya Nitai Gaura Hare, Nitai Gaura Hare, Gaura Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Nitai Goiva, Haribo, Haribo, Haribo. Nitai Goiva, Haribo, Haribo, Haribo. Nitai Go Haribo, 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 Haribo. Jai Shri Shri Radha Madhav ki Jai, Shri Krishna Janmashtami Mahamatsav ki Jai, Grantaraj Bhagavad Gita ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Nitai Gophamanande. Right, so this afternoon we're going to, for those of you who are new, we've been having 6 days or 5 days of Bhagavad Gita glorification. And since it's Gita week, we have been going through the Bhagavad Gita and chapter by chapter, trying to understand. Krishna appears in this world, and for many reasons. One reason Krishna appears in this world is to present himself to the world. That I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Another reason Krishna appears in this world is to perform his pastimes to attract us back to the spiritual world, because that's where we come from. In Bhagavad Gita, in the 2nd chapter, Krishna speaks about the fact that you're not this body. You're actually different from this body. Now, those of you that were with us for the last few days, what example did we share to at least logically prove to someone that they not this body? Please raise your hands and demonstrate that example. And if we don't get a volunteer, we'll start session 1 again. Can I just, until next Janmashtami. Okay, so who can share? Very simple example I gave to really demonstrate that we're different from this body. Anyone? Those of you that have been with us, please raise your hands and share. That may take a long time. And we still have to go through the realization. Okay, so we'll repeat the example again. Okay, please. Wonderful.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
I'll take a try.
Yes, please.
What I'm saying is all living entities as a soul and the Paramatma is in our heart.
Okay.
So how I would know is that when somebody passed on, they say, they don't say the person's name. They say when the body is coming.
Yes.
So that's why I'm using the term that I'm not this body, I'm just a servant, spirit soul of the Lord.
Good.
That's what I'm saying.
Right, so that was the one example. When someone dies, then let's say somebody in your family leaves this world, they die, and then your friends and family calls, they don't say when is the person, and they call his name, they don't say when he's coming back home, or when is the body, they say when the body is coming. They don't say when is Mr. Joe coming home, right? Because Mr. Joe is gone. They say when the body is coming. So if the body is coming and Joe is gone, then who is Joe? Because throughout our lives we've been identifying Joe with that body. Jai Shishivarnath Ki Jai. So we've been identifying Joe with the body. So in this way, that's the one example. Good. And then there was another example we gave. Who can remember the second example? Okay, there's mic. Wait for the mic.
Hare Krishna. The second example was the chair with the draping over it, whereby the draping just covers the chair but follows the shape of it.
Okay, so we gave the example of the outer garment, the drapery over the chair. So the chair and the drapery. We have the gross body, which is like the drapery, and the chair inside, which is the subtle body. Good. And when somebody dies, Yamaraj, he has a subtle rope. So he ties the subtle body and he pulls the subtle body and takes the subtle body away. Okay, good. And we gave another example. Okay, Mike, this side. So those of you that are new, who doesn't have a personal copy of Bhagavad Gita as it is, you can stand to receive a gift on Janmashtami. Okay, so there's one. Please come. Thank you. Hare Krishna, thank you very much. Please come. So there is only one condition for receiving these gifts. If you see, this is wrapped nicely, and it's also entitled Bhagavad Gita as It Is. And when you read the Bhagavad Gita, you'll see why Prabhupada entitled it as it is. So that means it's not like it should stay on the shelf as it is, wrapped as it is. No. Okay, that's not the understanding of as it is. You have to open it and you have to read. And if you have any questions, you're most welcome to ask. All right, thank you. Okay, so anyone else interested in receiving Bhagavad Gita? Okay, we got 1, 2, keep your hands up, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, maybe just 10, 9, 10. We got about 10. Right, let's see. 11. Interesting. How many Bhagavad Gitas we got in stock here? Do we have? Go check. Bring the whole stock. Okay, maybe so those of you that want a Bhagavad Gita copy, please stand. So Krishna's words are wonderful and glorious. So stand if you don't have a copy of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so those of you who already have studied Bhagavad Gita, if you want to sponsor a Bhagavad Gita for any one of our devotees that want a Bhagavad Gita, you can let us know. Maybe just raise your hand. So we need, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. First, I'm just looking for how many Bhagavad Gitas we need to get sponsored, right? And then we'll get the sponsors. We can sponsor the Bhagavad Gita. If nobody sponsors, I'll sponsor all the Bhagavad Gitas. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, wait. Oh, sorry. I just want to count. 1, 2, 3. Not sponsoring, just those of you that want the Bhagavad Gita. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So say about, okay, let's get 10 Bhagavad Gita sponsored. Okay. Maybe get a pen and paper. We got 11. Okay, so let's get all 11 Bhagavad Gitas. Is that all you got? Check more. Yeah, Krishna wants all the Bhagavad Gitas to be out today. Okay, so those of you that would like to sponsor Bhagavad Gita, it's only 90 rands. You can just raise your hands so that we can see how many we got to sponsor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so we already have all 11 sponsored, right? So what you can do, those of you that want to sponsor Bhagavad Gita, please see Alana Prabhu. So you can get all 11 sponsored, and we will then give those of you, please come for your gift. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. All right, keep that one side. We got these 11 sponsored already. Thank you. Thank you. Keep that one side. We just want to get these 12, so we got sponsored. All right, and one more. Right, keep that separate. Okay, so yeah, maybe just stand here. We'll give you now. Okay, so those of you that would like to sponsor, those are that raise your hands to sponsor. Alan, you got your pen and paper? So maybe while we're getting other sponsorship, just see Alana Prabhu to get, write your name so that we can see. We need to get, we got 2, 4, 6, 8. We got 8. We need 8 more sponsors. 8 more sponsors. So besides the 11 that we already got sponsors, we need 8 more. Clip hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One more hand. 8. Okay. So those of you that, thank you very much for your sponsorship on this glorious Janmashtami. Krishna will bless you all unlimitedly. For those who give Krishna, Krishna also gives himself to you. It's reciprocal. Do we have the vendor? He's the cashier. So those of you that sponsored, please give him your details. I'm looking for the picture of the vendor. Do we have that? The vendor fruit. Oh, there we are. So here you'll see this beautiful picture. Yes, please. Thank you. Okay, so you see the fruit vendor. The fruit vendor, she was coming with a basket of fruits. And Nandamaj and them would bring some grains. And then they would give the grains to the vendor, and the vendor would give the fruits. And in this way, they were amazed that when Krishna saw this, he was wondering, oh, this is wonderful. So he thought, okay, I also want to do. I also want to do some buttering. So he goes inside the house. Now he's a small boy, baby. So he picks up some grains, and then he starts walking to the vendor. And by the time Krishna reaches the vendor, most of the grains are already gone on the floor. And the vendor, she's looking at Krishna and completely mesmerized by Krishna's beauty. And she starts to put the fruits one by one in Krishna's hands. And as she's giving Krishna the fruit, Krishna's filling her basket with jewels. So when we give Krishna, Krishna gives us unlimitedly. All right, so we still have 6. Any new guest that would like to associate with Krishna's teachings in the form of Bhagavad Gita, you can come and receive it as a gift from us. Anyone? Thank you. Hare Krishna. All right, we got 5 more. Those of you that have come in now, thank you. There you are. What's your good name? Sohana, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Okay, anyone else? And as we said, not to be kept on the shelf as it is. Please read it. And if you have any questions, you're most welcome to contact any devotees to clarify your doubts. All right. Any other takers for a gift on this very special day for Krishna Janmashtami? Okay, good. All right, so those of you that have sponsored the Bhagavad Gitas, please say Alanat and give your sponsorship to him so that we can square the book table. Okay, and then whatever, if there is any shortage, we'll sort that balance out. Okay, good. So what we're going to do now, from the time that we have, where's my cell phone? Just want to check the timing. Okay. So we want to cover some realizations and feedback from the students that have attended the Bhagavad Gita course. You can just raise your hand. All right, so we got about 45 minutes. We you can just share. Just raise your hands, those of you that were here in the seminar for the Bhagavad Gita seminar for the last 4 or 5 days. Right, good. So we have few of you. You can, please give us your feedback. Also, your feedback is also wonderful for those who are new, because they will also possibly be inspired to study Bhagavad Gita and to associate. Krishna, the mic is checked with Alanat. Oh, there's it there. Yeah. So, Krishna's personally appeared in this world to speak Bhagavad Gita, the words of Krishna, and we need to associate and understand what Krishna has told us in Bhagavad Gita. So it's very important. Okay, so please, those of you that have attended, raise your hand so that we can send the mic and you can share. Maybe 1 or 2 minutes. How did you find the cause? How did you feel about the cause? Please share. Quite a few of you already have, shared your feedback, but we like everyone to hear. All right, so please do.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, you mentioned that...
Where's Alana Prabhu? Please increase the volume of the cordless mic.
Volume. Are you? Cordless.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you. So, when you're giving your feedback, it's like you're eating ice cream, right? So you hold the mic like you're eating ice cream.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, you mentioned that Krishna as the Supreme Personality of God, it has 64 qualities. Does Lord Chaitanya also have the same qualities?
Yes, Lord Chaitanya is Radha and Krishna. So yes, Lord Chaitanya also have the 64 qualities.
Can you mention the 4 special qualities that he has as the Supreme Personality of Godhead compared to other incarnations?
All right.
The 4 qualities that distinguishes Krishna from everybody else, that nobody else has, is that 1, he plays, is very adept in playing his flute, so much so that when Krishna plays his flute, he's able to mesmerize the minds of the residents of Vrindavan. He's able to make the rivers flow backwards. The deer get stunned. The animals in the Vrindavan forest, when they hear the beautiful sound of Krishna's flute, they become completely mesmerized. Krishna's flute sound, especially the 5th note, when he plays the 5th note, this is able to draw the hearts of the gopis especially, and bring them from whatever they are doing. So mesmerizing is the sound of Sri Krishna's flute that even if they are applying their makeup, one eye with mascara, they forget to put the other eye mascara, everything becomes completely useless in this world besides responding to the call of Krishna's flute. The other one is that he is surrounded by loving devotees. Krishna's devotees are so loving towards him that their love for him is completely freed from any conception of awe and reverence. They are thereby able to approach him in a very intimate mood of loving service. For example, when Krishna picked up Govardhan Hill, I can't see a picture anyway. When Krishna picked up Govardhan Hill, like you see in that picture, his funny Brahmin friend Madhimangal said to him, Krishna, it wasn't you who picked up that hill. Because I am the son of a Brahmana, because I am a Brahmana, I was actually chanting Vedic mantras so expertly, and by the potency of my chanting, that hill was kept up. The cowherd boys have so much of love for Krishna that they can even chastise him sometimes. Like in the afternoons, Rohini will come, Balaram's mother, and she will say, Kana, it's time to stop playing. Come, eat your food. And then Kana will say, just a little bit longer. And Mother Rohini will say to Mother Yasoda, I think you have to do it. And Yasoda will go, say, Kana, with a sterner voice, come now. And he is very afraid to make Mother Yasoda feel disappointed in him. So he wants to respond to the call. And the cowherd boys say, Krishna, if you leave the game now, you out. We're not going to play with you tomorrow. Don't come back to play with us. So he who is fear personified becomes so fearful that the cowherd boys are not going to play with him tomorrow, that he trembles in fear, and his heart is one that is described as Bhakta Vatsala. He always wants to please the devotees. You want to do the other two?
Yes. So Krishna's beauty, unparalleled beauty. Krishna is most beautiful, and he mesmerizes. It's described that Krishna, there's a beautiful picture in the center there, right in the dead center. You see Krishna looking in the reflection. And Krishna looks in the reflection and he gets mesmerized by his own beauty. Who's this most beautiful person? So even Krishna becomes completely enamored by his beauty. So he plays the flute like no one else. He performs pastimes, very unique and special pastimes that no one performs. In fact, Krishna, like you'll see here in this picture, Krishna appears in the cell of Kamsa. As soon as baby Krishna appears, he assumes a form, Vishnu form. So when he appears as Vishnu, he's not fearful in any situation. He wasn't fearful of Kamsa, because there he's appearing as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But if you look at this picture, here Mother Yashoda is binding Krishna. And Krishna is very scared. Krishna is crying, he's rubbing his eyes. So now someone will say, hold on, there's baby Krishna appearing as form, Vishnu form. So why is he crying? Why is he fearful of just a rope? Because the secret is that in Krishna, when he appears, Krishna appears as what we call Vasudev Krishna in Mathura, which is Krishna's expansion. And he appears to Mother Yashoda as Yashodanandan. So when Mother Yashoda gave birth, she actually gave birth to two children. Devaki gave birth to one child. Mother Yashoda gave birth to a daughter, it's Krishna's sister, Yogamaya, and a son. But due to labor, the intensity of labor, she was not conscious. And Vasudev then, in the cell, prison, the Kamsa cell, when Krishna appeared, he took the baby and he, where's this? Let's see if this picture is, oh, there we are. The first picture there. You see Krishna, Vasudev is carrying Krishna through the Yamuna to Gokul. And he then comes into Gokul and he picks up Yoga Maya, the sister, and he puts Vasudev Krishna next to Mother Yashoda. And then he takes Yoga Maya back to the cell of Kamsa. And then obviously Kamsa tries to kill her, but he can't kill. And Yoga Maya, in the form of Durga, appears and says, Kamsa, you fool, your enemy is already born. So that Vasudev Krishna, he then merges into Yashoda Nandan's body. So Krishna, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he does not kill any demons. Demons are not killed by Krishna. The example is given that the CEO of a company, even though the CEO is the boss of the company, but he doesn't do the work. He gets other people to do the work, and he'll go play golf. So similarly, Krishna, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, he doesn't kill demons. He plays in Vrindavan with the cowherd boys, and he performs pastime. He has a flute, he's playing flute. He expends himself, and that expansion is in the form of Vishnu, Narayan. And that form of Narayan is the one that kills demons. So this is the intricacies that the Acharyas describe of Krishna. Krishna also, as we mentioned, he has relationships which the other expansions and incarnations of God don't have. So for example, if you take Lord Vishnu again, this Narayan form with four-arm form, Narayan does not have any friends. In Vaikuntha, Lord Narayan is there, and all his servants, they accept Narayan as master. So they only serve Narayan as servant and master. That's all. Narayan doesn't have friends, and Narayan also doesn't have, brothers. Narayan also doesn't have, parents, because that is Narayan's identity. But now if you take Krishna, Krishna has servants. Krishna also he's got brother, Balaram. Krishna also has parents. And Krishna also got gopi friends. So in Bhagavad Gita, you will read, right in the introduction, Srila Prabhupada says you can have 5 relationships with God. Most people, most theologies, they only have the concept of God as the creator, as the master, and everybody else created and servant. They don't have the concept of God, of having a relationship with God as a friend or as in some parental relationship or even conjugal relationship. But you can actually have 5 relationships. So those of you that were doing the Bhagavad Gita session, what example does Krishna give in the Bhagavad Gita that proves that the 5 relationships we're talking about also exists in the spiritual world? What example does Krishna give to prove, if somebody says, oh, you really believe those relationships are there? 5 relations that you can have with Krishna. So what example does Krishna give? What analogy does Krishna give to validate that, yes, those 5 relationships exist in the spiritual world? It was in the 15th chapter. Starts with a B. This is why it's very important to do the course not one time, 2 times, 3 times,
They invited us today to come again next year.
until you remember. Because see, and we understand, in Kali Yuga, Prabhupada says memory means writing down. If you don't write down, it's difficult to retain. That's why we have memory stick. Just put everything on memory stick, it's okay. Right? So we have to remember these things. And repetition is the mother of remembrance. So we have to keep repeating. Remember the example of the upside down banyan tree. The reflection. So the spiritual world is the real world, and the material world is the reflection, diametrically opposite, perverted reflection. So this material world is a reflection. Now if you look at in this material world, we have servants, we have neutral, first you could say neutral, just like this mic has a neutral relationship with me. It's neutral, it's called neutrality. Then you have a servitorship relationship. Then you have, people have brothers, sisters. Then people have parents. And then there's husband, wife, or conjugal relationship. So these 5 relationships exist in the material world. But in its perverted form. Perverted form means it's temporary. It's not perfect. Right? There's no pure devotion or love there. But they exist. So why do they exist? Because just like that mango that we talked about, if you look in the reflection and you see a mango, if a mango tree is reflected in the reflection, is reflected in the water, and you see the mango that's reflected, what does it tell you? On the original tree there's a mango. So 5 relationships exist in this world. That means 5 relationships exist in the spiritual world. So Krishna performs these different pastimes, and he, as you mentioned, he performs his pastimes to attract us. Okay, so we were coming back to feedback. All right, so Madri asked a question, which we welcome, but those of you that have attended the course, please share your feedback. Anyone would like to share? Please share your feedback.
Okay, it was very enlightening 6 days, and I feel that we're really ready for tomorrow for the climax. It's the consciousness has been
Uplifted.
Yes, definitely. No, I can't say purified because far from it. But I think we all are looking forward for the climax tomorrow and we're ready for it.
Nice.
So thank you so much for your time, your effort. Really, I'm sure everybody enjoyed it.
Wonderful, yes. I love the point that you made. We are ready for Krishna's appearance day tomorrow. And that's important. In fact, it's a good exercise to do. Whenever there is, for example, if there is the appearance of Lord Nrsimhananda, then it's a good practice to start hearing the pastimes of Lord Nrsimhananda before the festival. So because of Gita week, we've been preparing, we've been thinking about and glorifying Krishna's words. So definitely it has facilitated our consciousness to now celebrate tomorrow. Yeah.
The next person. So while I'm walking to him, I'll share something. For tomorrow, since he said that consciousness should be altered for Sri Krishna Janmashtami. So here's one meditation. Srila Rupa Goswami has written about Krishna. Indra Nila Mani Manjita Varna. His complexion is that of a sapphire jewel. So a sapphire jewel is blackish blue in complexion. And he says, in Nila mani manjita varna pula nipa kusumanjita karna. On his ear, karna, he wears a blossom of kadamba flowers. So Krishna is very expert that he chooses his attire very intelligently. Sometimes when he wants to indicate to his associates that he'll meet them at a certain place in Vrindavan, he will wear perhaps a blue lotus on his left ear, and that is the signal that they will meet at a certain place. So Indranila mani manjita varna pulani pakusumanjita varna. Then his chest is very broad, and on his very broad chest, it's decorated with a gunja mala. So in KwaZulu-Natal, you get these lucky beads. They're black and red in color. So anyone knows that? Those tiny little beads. Your mother must have told you, don't put it in your mouth. You find it on the ground here and there. So those particular beads are known as gunja berries. So Krishna wears a garland of gunja mala. It's explained in the Nectar of Devotion that 3 things are Krishna's favorites: his peacock feather on his head, his flute, and the gunja necklace. So then he walks around in the Vrindavan forest, and chachari charita anchita chari, he claps his hands in a rhythm known as chachari. So when he claps his hand, that's the rhythm. Because everything about Krishna is very exciting. There's nothing boring. And, okay, you can say something. Oh, I was coming to you. Sorry, I got distracted.
Okay. Hare Krishna, thank you very much for the inspiration course we did. I thank you and Mataji. And I hope you'll come again, because I read this book. I didn't understand what's going on. I had a teacher. I still not that perfect. But today, I actually got something, because one thing you told us is the book was the Bhagavad Gita as it is. What is Bhagavad Gita, the definition of Bhagavad Gita? And you told us, and explained me that Bhagavan is Krishna, Supreme Person of Godhead, and Gita is a song. That's what I want. And other thing that I learned was chapter 12 called Bhakti Yoga, devotional service. And for me, devotional service is the utmost importance, because if you do devotional service, and Krishna will always love it, you're doing a devotional service, He will reciprocate in your heart. And I'm very impressed on that.
You have become a scholar, Prabhu. And we're very proud of you.
Thank you very much for that. Yes, for those that received this gift, and we still have a few more copies that are coming.
They're coming.
The devotees have actually sponsored 18 copies, so we'd like to thank 29. Oh, okay. So thank you very much for sponsoring. So we still have a few more copies. Those of you that are new, you can receive your gift tonight on this very auspicious day. And we made the point that this looks like a book. It has a hardcover like a book. It got pages like a book, but it ain't a book. It is fully conscious as Krishna, as conscious as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because it is non-different. You can even, if you don't have a deity at home, you can put Bhagavad Gita on the altar, and you can do arati to Bhagavad Gita, because it's a deity. Just like the Srimad Bhagavatam is a deity. So this is also a deity form of Krishna. So yes, very auspicious. All right. Anybody else would like to share feedback?
First of all, and Madri for conducting this seminar. For me, there's three profound away from here. In chapter 8, verse 8.5, preparing for the pass mark.
Preparing for the final exam.
Which was very, very profound. Maybe you can expand on that for the others.
Yes, good. So, yep, we're going to talk.
The next thing that from verse 15.3, to detach oneself from the material world and to keep sharpening the sword. And also, you all mentioned that every person's heart only belongs to Krishna.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you.
Haribol.
Feedback. So we mentioned in the 8th chapter, Lord Krishna talks about how to die perfectly in this world. How to die perfectly in this world. And we made the point that in this world, we write many examinations. But the most important examination is the final examination at the time of death. So we need to learn how to perfect our life by passing the final exam. And the final exam is death. So, who can tell us the pass mark for the final exam? What is the pass mark for the final exam? Yes, to remember Krishna. And the Vedas have not the what do you call it? Not the Veda, what do you call it? Vadas, not the Vadas, eh? The Vedas. Right? So the Vedas, they have many rules and regulations. But Rupa Goswami says of all the rules and regulations, you just have to remember two. Always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. So if you don't remember anything from the cause, then just remember these two principles. Always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. And Prabhupada says the easiest way to remember Krishna is chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All right, can you share with us?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Hold it closer. Yeah.
Okay, got it. My feedback regarding the Bhagavad Gita course was basically it refreshed my mind. I think it basically kept my entire family Krishna conscious. We are practicing Krishna consciousness, but sometimes we actually take it for granted and we forget. And I'm going to get a bit emotional.
That's okay.
It's been a very difficult past 2 months where my granny has been very sick. And yesterday she actually left her body at about 2 o'clock. But she wanted to see us, and we took very long to actually get to her. And we entered my granny's home about 3:45, and there was no auspicious items nearby. I grabbed the Bhagavad Gita from the room and I brought it to her in the lounge because that's where she was laying, and I placed it at her headside. And I bowed down to her and I was just chanting Hare Krishna in her ear. She left her body at about 4. So she left her body at about 2 and she came back into her body because everyone was screaming and crying. And I guess she just wanted to hold this family together. She didn't want to leave. She's worried about everyone. I think every mother, for that matter, wants the children to be unity, and they want everyone to get on with each other. So she was a pillar that held this family together. But I guess when she heard Krishna's name, she knew it was time to go, and she left peacefully.
Nice.
So,
Yeah, so
thank
we're
you.
sorry
Hare
to hear
Krishna.
that, but yeah, it's glorious because when if someone leaves this world, somehow or other with Krishna there, either in the form of auspicious substances like Vrindavan dust, the holy waters, or the auspicious substances of the flowers and garlands that's offered to Krishna, or the chanting of Krishna's names, or like you place the Bhagavad Gita there, Krishna's, there in the form of Bhagavad Gita. So that is glorious. That is how, in fact, most people, we mentioned, everyone's going to write the final exam. You can't say, can I get a break? Right? Can you skip me? Nope. You can't, bribe the teacher to skip the final exam. Yamaraj doesn't accept any, business cards, call me later. Nope. You can't postpone it. You can't even ask Yamaraj for 1 single second more. When death comes, you have to go. So Prabhupada is giving us Krishna consciousness and the philosophy, and Krishna in Bhagavad Gita is teaching us how to live in this world and prepare and leave this world in a glorious way to return back to the spiritual world. If you see animals, when they die, they don't think of the Lord. They basically die and come back. And we also shared there's 8.4 million species that one can take. And we've been taking, it's explained, for you to get this human form, you had to go through 8.4 million species, or rather 8 million at least, many times before you get a human form. And it's only in the human form that we can inquire, who is God? Who am I? What is my duty? How do I perfect my life? How can I be happy? Why am I suffering? And in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is giving all the answers. By the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we have that. So when we can now facilitate someone leaving this world, remembering Krishna, that is glorious. Yes, it's painful to lose our loved ones. I was sharing, in fact, one of the devotees came from Joburg also, Mukundangri and his wife, because they came for the mother-in-law's prayers also, who left last week. And I was telling them that few years ago, I did a Bhagavad Gita seminar, also 6 days, where the carport is. And the Bhagavad Gita seminar was meant to start from Saturday. The Friday, the night before, in the evening, I get a call from my brother that my father passed away. So I told my brother, and I got a few brothers, so that was, good. I told them, you please continue with the ceremonies. I'm going to Durban to continue with the Bhagavad Gita cause. And I told them because our father is already gone. So there's nothing I can do. He's already gone. But if I go and speak about Krishna and Bhagavad Gita, then Krishna can do something. Because he's God. So if I go and serve Krishna, then Krishna will take care of my father. Because he's the Supreme Lord. He can do anything. So then I came to Durban and I did the cause. See? So we should have faith in Krishna. To leave this world like how Prabhupada taught us. In fact, when Srila Prabhupada was leaving this world, he was on his deathbed, over 70 years old, and it's ascribed that he had no flesh left. His skin was practically touching the bones. And his body had shriveled away. And there was Prabhupada lying. So one devotee started his camera and started recording Prabhupada leaving this world. And another devotee he told that devotee, how can you do this? How can you record somebody dying? Normally it's like if it's a wedding, then you record, but you can't, recording somebody dying. He said, no. So Prabhupada said, no, leave it on. He said, leave it on, because this is the final lesson. Prabhupada taught us many lessons. How to chant, how to serve the deities, how to serve the devotees, how to cook prasad, honor prasad. Prabhupada taught us so many things. And the final lesson that Prabhupada taught us was how to leave this world in the most glorious way. So, therefore, we should always remember these two principles, and that is, always remember Krishna and never forget him. And whenever somebody is at a time of death, leaving this world, try to make the arrangements somehow or other to hear the holy name. In today's modern technology, we can put an iPod, we can put a cell phone that just have kirtan. So if somebody is ill, somebody is sick, just have kirtan playing. It's glorious. Because the holy name will help transition. So yes. And we should also know, right, that our loved ones don't really die. They just gone from one house to another house of Krishna. That's all. Like I give the example, in your house, if you got 3 rooms, let's say your mother is sitting in the dining room. When your mother goes to her room, from the dining room, she goes into her room, do you start crying? No, you don't cry, because you don't see her in the dining room now. But then she goes into the room, you don't cry. So similarly, when our loved ones go from this room called earth, to another room in Krishna's creation, why do we cry? See, if we know that the soul never dies, yes, we may lament the separation, but we won't cry to the extent that the person is gone and dead and doesn't exist. No, the person still exists, very much alive and well, in another room of Krishna. And we simply can pray to Krishna, my Lord, you know where my loved one is gone. Please help them to come to your lotus feet. And at the same time, don't forget me. I also want to come to your lotus feet. Okay, good. Anyone else would like to share their experience on Bhagavad Gita? Maybe one more. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. I'd like to thank Prabhu and Mataji for making it all the way to Durban to come and have the seminar with all of us. There's quite a few of our class members in this class, the Bhakti Sastri, that we completed with Bhagavad Gita with Jai Prabhu. And everyone was very keen, Prabhu, when we told him about the Srimad Bhagavatam class that we listen online. So in terms of the Bhagavad Gita, I've learned a lot, and it's been a much more practical experience for me in terms of the modes that govern us, goodness, passion, and ignorance that we faced every single day of our lives, and how to press the pause button when it comes to anger, and how to react and when not to react. Yeah. And I really am very grateful for that, and I've been applying it in my life, and I know that I fall most days, but I always the next day is always a new opportunity for me to keep trying. And I've noticed that with devotional service that I do, and all of us, that we engage in, it really makes it easier. It really helps us to overcome these, the lower modes, and to transcend, to pure goodness one day. I pray for that. So all blessings to you and Mataji. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, it's not a fault to fall, and it's not a fault to make mistakes. if you make mistakes, we should learn from it. Proverbs said, you can make a mistake once, we'll forgive you. Make the same mistake again, we'll forgive you. You make the mistake the third time, we boot you. Right? Because you're not learning from the mistake. Right? But you can make a mistake and learn from that. And you can make another mistake, a different mistake, and learn from that. And you can make another mistake and learn from that. That is why we have the disciplic succession. In the 4th chapter, we covered the disciplic succession. Why? Because, for example, every one of us sitting here, we all have made mistakes. And we all have experience of learning from mistakes. And if I put everyone's experience collectively on a list, I can learn from everyone's mistakes. So instead of me performing everyone's mistake, I might as well learn from everyone's mistake. Clear? Because you don't have time to perform every mistake in the creation. You don't have time, and you can't. It'll be difficult. But you can learn from everyone's mistake. So that's more intelligent. So our acharyas, they have come into this world. So we basically learn from them. Don't do this, do this, do this, do this. You'll be safe. And that way, it expedites. It's easier for us to live. Right? So yes, making mistakes is not a problem. And to fall down is also not a problem in devotional service. So it's not how many times you fall that is an issue. If you fall, as long as you get up and continue, that's more important. If one day you fall and you never get up, that is the most dangerous thing. But if you do something wrong, you fall, you get up, you carry on. Just like a child, when a child is learning to walk, if the mother has to tell the child, don't fall, otherwise I'll reject you, that's detrimental. She'll expect the child to fall. And as soon as the child falls, she helps the child stand up again and carry on walking. So Krishna, he knows our heart. Krishna, accepts that yes, we will fall, we will trip. But as long as we get up again and we continue, and we are happy. In fact, I generally tell devotees, even if you have to leave spiritual life altogether, you completely, the material desires take you and you deviate completely and you leave. There's one thing you should never, ever leave, no matter what. No. Not your money bag. Your bead bag. This you should never leave. If you want to leave Krishna consciousness, you want to, break all the principles, you want to fall into Maya, due to bad association, do whatever has to, whatever the influence may be, never stop the chanting. Even if you don't have the taste, and it's very difficult, never stop the chanting. Because the chanting will bring you back. Okay, so that's important, yeah. So it's good, never stop trying. And in this way, we can learn. And yes, putting the pause button is very important. By nature, we're reactive. If somebody does something wrong, we immediately want to react. But we have to learn to press the pause button. Whenever something happens in our life, before reacting, put the pause button. Because nobody says you need to react right there. Nobody says you need to, become angry right there and say something. No. If you put a pause button, it saves a lot. It's a scribe. There was a we gave that example in England. There was in the manor at the temple. There's a wonderful sannyasi that was he's late now, Mahavishnu Maharaj, and Mahavishnu Maharaj told us that one time there was a couple. They were staying opposite the temple, and every day they were fighting. And you know that they're fighting because cups and saucers are flying and breaking. So one day, somehow they were inspired to come to the temple and ask, the sannyasi there for some help, guidance. So they came to the sannyasi and they said, Maharaj, Swami, we always fight every day, what should we do? So he said, you can continue fighting, but just do me one thing. Don't open your mouth. So they thought, okay, well, that's easy. We can continue fighting. Swami says we can continue fighting. Okay, so the next day, you could hear, Jai Shri Shivaranath ki Jai, Shri Guru Mahaprabhu ki Jai. So the next day, the devotees could hear the cups and saucers flying, cutlery flying. But they were fighting without speaking. And the next day, and after a few days, it was silent. The devotees were surprised, and even possibly the couple was surprised, like, what happened now? So then they came back and they told the Swami, we stopped fighting. And the Swami said, yes. See? Because when you speak, you aggravate the situation. No, you like this. No, you like this. It just aggravates the situation. See? So when you're fighting, don't speak. It reduces the issue. But more than that is, we don't want to even react. We want to put a pause button, pick up your bead bag, and chant Hare Krishna. Because anger is detrimental. It's a detrimental quality. Krishna says it's one of the 3 gateways to hell: lust, anger, and greed. Yeah. In fact, anger, so there's lust and anger. Lust in Sanskrit is called kam. K-A-M-A, kam. And anger is called kamanuja. Kamanuja. Anuja means following, younger. So anger is called the younger brother of lust. So lust is elder brother, and kamanuja, anger, is younger brother. Wherever the elder brother goes, younger brother follows. Which means wherever there is lust, there is anger. So when your lust is not satisfied, when your desires are not satisfied, you become angry. When you don't get your way, you become angry. See? So that's anger. So lust is internal. And anger is an external feature. You can easily see when somebody is angry, but you can't see easily when somebody is lusty. But that lust will come out through anger. And when you become angry, it destroys your intelligence. And that way you can do the wrong thing and say the wrong thing. And Krishna, we also covered in the 18th chapter, Krishna talked about the austerity of speech. So speech is described to be worse than shooting an arrow at an enemy. If you shoot an arrow to an enemy, it can pierce his body and he can pull it out. But if you shoot words, it goes into the ear and to the heart. And now you can't say, it's okay, I'm sorry, pull it out. Nope, you already damaged the heart. So therefore we have to be very careful what we say. And Krishna says austerity of speech means make sure it's pleasing, make sure it's Krishna conscious.
So angry words may crack the heart of the hearer. And it's explained the heart is like a clay pot. If it's cracked, you can't put it back together. However, in some cultures, in the Japanese culture, when some incident like this happens and the clay vase is cracked, they use a golden type of glue and paint and they put it back together and they use it as an ornament to remind them how not to repeat it.
All right. Anyone else would like to have the opportunity to share feedback? Otherwise,
I think if there's nobody else raising their hand, since it's Srila Prabhupada's appearance day, the next day after Sri Krishna Janmashtami, and we are so tired on Janmashtami that we don't have enough time to say something about Srila Prabhupada, we'll share one or two memories or meditations to help alter the state of consciousness to accept the mercy of Srila Prabhupada on his Vyas Puja day.
So if it wasn't for Srila Prabhupada, I definitely wouldn't be celebrating Janmashtami. Firstly, I wouldn't know who Krishna is, and I definitely wouldn't be celebrating Janmashtami. Because it's only when I came to Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet that I heard about Janmashtami and that you fast the whole night and you stay up and you glorify Krishna. Otherwise, never was there. And in fact, I received the Bhagavad Gita in 1985 in this temple when they opened the temple. We came down with our family and we were doing a family drama called Fate, Destiny. And we were staying at the Aryan Benevolent Home and we were doing the drama at Westville. So then the family thought, why don't we just go, there's a temple that's opened, let's just go past the temple. So we came to the temple and it was filled to the brim. And we walked in and I couldn't see the deities because the temple was packed and I only saw saffron, sannyasis and brahmacharis, and the kirtan was going on. And then we spent a few minutes and then I walked out and somebody sold me a Bhagavad Gita at the bookshelf, book table. And then I took the Bhagavad Gita home and I started reading. And as soon as I read Bhagavad Gita, and Prabhupada says, you're not your body, you're a spirit soul, you're a servant of Krishna, you must serve Krishna. And that was it. Prabhupada saying this, I've told my father, join Hare Krishnas, because I need to serve. And obviously he wasn't very impressed. He gave me some more audios to learn. So by Prabhupada's mercy, I've been introduced. Now, Prabhupada is no ordinary saint, very special saint. In fact, scripture describes that he is the Senapati Bhakta. He's the chief commander of Krishna. And 5,000 years ago, Mother Ganga, she went to Krishna and she complained to Krishna that, my Lord, people are coming to me and they're bathing in my waters. And when they bathe in my waters, all their sins are absorbed by me. But in Kali Yuga, I'm going to be accumulating so much sins and it'll be very difficult for me. And Krishna says, no, don't worry. In the future, my pure devotee who will come and spread the holy name of Krishna, and when he and his associates come and bathe in your waters, they will absorb that sinful reactions from you and nullify the sins. So Prabhupada one time in John Lennon's estate, Prabhupada visited John Lennon, and in John Lennon's estate, Tetanus Park, they had a beautiful park. And they had, Mother Yamuna shares that they had grass that was like 30 centimeters long. They wouldn't cut the grass in Tetanus Park. And one morning, when it was, very misty, and the dew was on the grass, Prabhupada and Mother Yamuna were walking. Now, I'm sure you have experience, if the grass has moist or dew, when you walk on it, firstly, if your grass is long and you walk on it, it goes flat. And the second thing that happens is you have a footprint. So, Mother Yamuna, she was walking behind Srila Prabhupada, and Prabhupada was walking in front. And she was thinking, I'm going to follow Srila Prabhupada's footsteps, because the disciple is meant to follow the Guru in his footsteps. So she thought that would be a nice thing to do, follow. So she was doing that, but after a while she noticed something very strange. Wherever Prabhupada was walking, there were no footprints. Then she looked back and she saw her footprints was deep and very clear. But Prabhupada had no footprints. So she stopped and she said, Swamiji, Prabhupada, you don't have any footprints. And I got footprints. That's inconceivable. How is it possible? And Prabhupada looked at her and said, in future you will understand. So no doubt, we know that Srila Prabhupada is in this world but not of this world. He's very special. And you can see that he's special because what he has done. Scripture says you can gauge a tree, the quality of a tree, by the fruits it produces. So we can see what Prabhupada has actually done in terms of the books that he has written, the movement that he has established, how many souls he has impacted, that he's very special. Yeah. You can share one.
We're all looking for direction in life. We all want a North Star that we can follow and come out of this dark tunnel called material existence. And Srila Prabhupada has a heart to deliver us in a most magnanimous way. The pastime that comes to my mind is when Srila Prabhupada was in Juhu, Mumbai, and there was one person called Mr. Nair. And Mr. Nair tried his level best to actually cheat Prabhupada of the land that Prabhupada bought for Sri Sri Radha Ras Bihari. And Mr. Nair owned the press. He was very well known. He would bribe different municipality members. They broke the temple down, and the law was, if the temple wasn't built overnight, then Prabhupada and the devotees would have to evacuate. And Srila Prabhupada had placed the little deities of Radha Ras Bihari, and he had promised them that they will build a temple there for them. So Prabhupada wasn't going to let go of this fight very easily. So many things happened, and Mr. Nair was the most horrific person you could ever hear about. Prabhupada's noble cause was not appreciated by him. So Mr. Nair at some point died. And his wife, Mrs. Nair, she continued the lineage of demoniac behavior towards Prabhupada. But somehow, every night, she would have a nightmare. Her husband was going through very hellish conditions, and it was bothering her consciousness so much. So one day, she had a revelation that she needs to go to Srila Prabhupada and beg for his forgiveness. Now, can you imagine, ladies and gentlemen, if you were in that position, if somebody has tried repeatedly to harm you, what would be your response? Srila Prabhupada, he taught us an example that can bring tears to your eyes and melt your heart. When Mrs. Nair came to beg forgiveness, Prabhupada was staying at another place, not at the temple, and she went there. But Prabhupada's secretaries knew that they have bothered Prabhupada for so long. Better not let her go and bother Prabhupada. Let him continue with his important work. And then Mr. Sethi came. And Mrs. Nair, she begged Mr. Sethi, please, I've come to apologize to Srila Prabhupada. Mr. Sethi said, Acha, you have come to apologize? And then, when he went inside, because Prabhupada had called for him, Prabhupada attended to whatever matter was prearranged with Mr. Sethi. And then Prabhupada said, is there anything else? And Mr. Sethi said, Srila Prabhupada, Mrs. Nair is outside and she's asking to see you. Prabhupada said, oh, okay. Why? And you know why? And Mr. Sethi said, Prabhupada, she says she wants to apologize to you. Prabhupada said, fine, bring her in. And Mr. Sethi, he asked Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, how can you do this? And Prabhupada said, if a person has lost their way in the dark of night and find their way and come onto the right path in the morning, then what is the problem? Srila Prabhupada ki. So one time in France, Prabhupada was walking and there was a tramp. He was very dirty. He hadn't bathed for a long time, so his body was covered in a thick layer of dirt. He was stinking, and he was sleeping in the bushes, and he saw Prabhupada's effulgent personality going on the morning walk, and he knew that Prabhupada was a special personality just by seeing him. And he wanted to get the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Even though he was not all right in his mental state, he fell onto the pathway and he tried to touch Prabhupada's feet, but the disciples, they prevented it. So he got some intelligence. He knew the timetable of Srila Prabhupada, that he would come, he would walk at such and such time, then he would go, he would enter the temple, and when he entered the temple, he was the first in the entourage, and the devotees were at the back. So what he did was that he went, when the Prabhupada and the disciples went on the morning walk, he entered the temple and he waited. And as soon as Srila Prabhupada entered, he fell at Srila Prabhupada's feet in his dirty condition. He held onto Prabhupada's feet, and Prabhupada touched his dirty head and rubbed it and said, that's okay, that's okay. So the devotees, they said, okay, Prabhupada said, that's okay, that's okay. Prabhupada's giving mercy to this person. So they took him upstairs. They threw him in the shower and opened it at full blast. Then when he came out, they shaved him up, put him in the shower, put him in a dhoti, and asked him, what can he do? So they taught him how to clean. So he was in charge of cleaning. But one day, and his nickname was Pigpen. That's what the devotees nicknamed him, because he was so dirty when they found him. So then, Pigpen stayed in the temple. He could hardly speak English. He made animalistic sounds instead of words articulated. So then, Pigpen saw that the devotees were going out on Sankirtan daily. His Holiness Indradumna Maharaj was the leader of the Sankirtan team, And they had a van. They would load all the books. The brahmacharis would then take their book bags and they would go and they would come back very happy. So one day Pigpen jumped into the van and the devotees thought, he can't do Sankirtan. Maybe the most he can do is wash the Sankirtan van. So in any case, he refused to get out of the van. He sat there in the front seat. So Indradumna Maharaj didn't want to delay the Sankirtan team. He drove. They said they'll deal with him later. So they went to the spot where they're distributing books. Pigpen took a Sankirtan bag that was near him with books, and he went out onto the street. And while the devotees were having their breakfast, because they used to pack their breakfast, have it on the spot so they don't get delayed in the traffic in reaching their spot for their important work. When they sat down to have breakfast, Pigpen had already started distributing books. And when they noticed him out there, they saw that all the people he approached were taking books and paying for those books. So later on, they asked him, what did you tell to the people? Because he came back with an empty bag. All his books were distributed. So they asked him, what did you tell the people? Because as I said, he could hardly articulate the English language properly. So all he said was, Prabhupada saved me. And the people took the books. That was the only thing he could say. Prabhupada saved me. And by that, the books started to empty out of his bag. He became later initiated by Srila Prabhupada, and his name was Rasada Das. Such is the magnanimous mercy of that illustrious person whom we know as our preeminent Shiksha Guru, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
All right, so that brings us to the end of our sessions. We'd like to thank all the students for attending and giving us your association, and also allowing us to purify our own selves by repeating the words of Krishna. And we hope to be of service again in the future. We may be planning to come and do the Nam Ashraya course. So it's a course that especially for new and seasoned devotees that are chanting the holy name. So it'll be about the holy name, in relation to the holy name, and possibly over the weekend, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we'll also be able to chant 64 rounds together. If you chant 64 rounds together, 16 rounds become easy. So we'll be scheduling that, and we'll also let you know. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. So I just quickly want to say a few words, especially to thank His Grace Nrsimhananda Prabhu and Madri Mataji for sharing their wisdom, their knowledge, their time, and their effort to give us this wonderful course on Bhagavad Gita, especially for those of you who attended for all the days, but even if you just attended tonight, I'm sure you can see what a special experience this is. Bhagavad Gita brought to a new light, even for seasoned devotees. Thank you very much, Nrsimhananda Prabhu and Madri Mataji, from the temple management, the festival organizers. And I also want to thank His Grace Alnath Prabhu and Balaram Prabhu. Where's Balaram Prabhu? Oh, he's on the altar. Okay, Balaram Prabhu is on the altar, and Alnath Prabhu for organizing this course and facilitating everything. And also thank you all very much for participating in the course. And yeah, you benefited a lot. Also, when someone gives you spiritual knowledge like they have, you have a huge debt to pay them. So I'm not sure if they asked for their dakshin yet. Generally, the dakshin is that you should remember and follow what they told you, yes. At least. But also, Mother Radhanath is here. Oh, Radhanath, you here? Sorry, I didn't see you there. Please come forward, Mataji, so you can offer the dakshin and a gift. Oh, okay. So there's the gift from Mr. and Mrs. Singh in this packet, which we want to offer to Madri Mataji and Nrsimhananda Prabhu, and also some dakshin on behalf of all the students and the devotees who attended. Thank you very much. So this is how your knowledge gets solidified, by offering some gift to the instructors, to the gurus who imparted knowledge.
Yeah, that's fine. So just thank you very much. In relation to the certification, just before we forget, the Balaram Prabhu and them will communicate, because certification will be done at the graduation. So just make sure all your details are updated. They will communicate, and then they will give you the certification on the graduation day.
For those who attended the 6th day.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think 80%.
Okay. Thank you very much, devotees, and we hope to see you all tomorrow and on Friday for the full Janmashtami celebration and Srila Prabhupada's Vyasa Puja. So please get some rest. It's going to be an intense, exciting, long 2 days. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
And we'd like to thank all the devotees that have sponsored the 30 Bhagavad Gitas today. Thank you very much. And if there are any more guests that need a copy of the Bhagavad Gita, please, we have few copies available.